The Alabama Crimson Tide keeps on rolling, and they add another key transfer to their wide receiver room to bolster that offense under second-year head coach Kalen DeBoer. I'm Nathan Johnston alongside my co-host Brad Hopkins. It's time to break the huddle. Brad, been talking about these transfers, a lot of them on the offensive side, a lot on defense. This is a big wide receiver transfer for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and Isaiah Horton coming over from Miami. Miami could have used this guy come this season with Carson Beck transferring in. Nonetheless, Alabama gets him. Initial thoughts on Isaiah, and what does he bring to this Alabama offense?
First thought is, once again, a guy that has played a lot of college football, which is so valuable. A big physical target, 6'4", 205. He's got good speed. Had a great year. Nate had a great year last year with Cam Ward in that offense that they threw the ball all over the field, 56 catches, over 600 yards, 5 touchdowns. Nate, something that I think is really, really valuable for Alabama landing this guy. Look, Ryan Williams is going to get a lot of attention. I truly believe they're going to be creative in getting him the football because they know. I mean, I would argue behind Jeremiah Smith, he's Ryan Williams, the most explosive playmaker in the country. But look, you're going to have some Saturdays where Ryan Williams is probably bracketed, and they're going to have to rely on Jeremy Bernard, and then you get to rely on a guy like Isaiah Horton with that big frame, with all that experience, with that great speed. This is a big pickup, and I think, new Alabama offensive coordinator Ryan Grubb, who reunites with Kalen DeBoer, I think he's going to enjoy having that guy in that room. Nate, one other thing before I turn it over to you for your thoughts, I think you're going to see a new Alabama offense this year. Jalen Milroe was gone. Yep. I think you saw DeBoer and that Alabama staff. They had to get creative. You knew that Milroe was a very, very inconsistent passer. We are assuming it's going to be Ty Simpson stepping in. We'll see. That's going to be an interesting position battle to watch here in just a couple of weeks. But you got to have guys like this with Isaiah Horton. He betters that room. But Nate, I'm going to say, I think outside of Ryan Williams, I think this is going to be Alabama's second leading receiver in 100% in catches, yards, and touchdowns. There's a chance he could lead this team in touchdowns just with his body, with his speed, and with his ability to go get jump balls. But I think a very, very, very huge pickup for Alabama.
Yeah, you nailed it right on the head. Different offense for the Alabama Crimson Tide this year. Ryan Grubb comes in, reunites with Kalen DeBoer. This is a match made in heaven, Brad. This is what Alabama wanted, I think, year one. I think year two they get what they wanted. Yeah. I personally think Jalen Milroe probably has a better year last year if Ryan Grubb is at OC.
I agree with you there. There's no argument for me there.
Listen, and by default, I'm a Georgia fan. I went to Georgia. I'll put that out there. But on this show, we talk real college football, and I'd be lying if I didn't say a lot of people are doubting Alabama this year. Look out. They're coming. They have not declined in the least, besides losing Nick Saban, which huge decline, huge change. However, in today's era of college football, I don't think they're going anywhere. And I think Isaiah Horton provides that depth to the wide receiver room that they already have. Alabama's always going to produce guys. They always will. Will they take a step back? Maybe. Maybe they don't go undefeated every year, but they've got a shot. And this guy brings a lot of big game experience from Miami. Again, Miami, maybe not the best team, but you mentioned it yourself, playing with Cam Ward. That's a big difference. Right. I think in a lot of ways, you see quarterbacks helping wide receivers. I think this is a guy who can step in and help Ty Simpson.
Absolutely.
Help with his adjustments, help with his timing. Along with Ryan Williams, I mean, those two guys alone, not only are they going to lead in receptions and touchdowns and all the great stats, I think off the field, in the offensive film room, they're going to be able to help Ty Simpson more than meets the eye.
I think that's such a valuable point. But look, as a quarterback, when you've got the ability to go out there and just completely trust your guys on the outside, it makes your job just that much a little
Just a little bit.
Nate, something that stands out to me about Isaiah Horton, when you think about Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb at their last year, 2 years ago at Washington, what did they have? They had a very, very good quarterback in Michael Penix. Not even going to begin to try to compare Michael Penix and Ty Simpson.
Sure.
I think it's two
totally different quarterbacks.
Two totally different quarterbacks. But what is in common about Horton and that Washington team is a big physical receiver in Rome Odunze. I'm not, once again, Alabama fans not claiming that Isaiah Horton is Rome Odunze.
I don't think it's that far off, though.
I don't, and that's kind of where I'm going with this, is that when you think about these Kalen DeBoer offenses, when you have that big physical guy, and once again, I don't want to take away, Isaiah Horton has very, very good speed, but look, I think they're going to have to find some other legitimate targets to take some heat off Ryan Williams. Once again, I go back to, there's going to be some Saturdays Ryan Williams is going to be clamped up. He's going to be facing some shutdown corners. He's going to get a lot of bracket coverage with a corner and a safety, and it's going to take Ty Simpson to have to find other guys.
Yeah.
And I just, once again, I think Isaiah Horton has really put himself in a good position to succeed and have a really, really good year there in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, Brad, it pains me to say this as a Georgia fan, but the reality is Alabama's wide receiver room is stacked.
It's very good.
If Ty Simpson pans out to be what he's supposed to be, this Alabama team's going to be dangerous, man.
Absolutely.
It's going to be dangerous, and they could make a huge run at the playoff. I think it's up in the air at this point, but one thing remains true. That's Isaiah Horton. He brings veteran leadership, like some of the other guys that we've talked about in the portal. He brings the experience. He's going to be able to help Ty Simpson. He's going to be able to help this offense out. And I'm excited to see what this guy brings to the Alabama Crimson Tide.
I agree. This is a big pickup. I think Alabama fans are going to be pleasantly surprised about what this offense can do. To me, it's going to look much more like a typical Kalen DeBoer, Ryan Grubb, 2023 Washington offense, where they may throw it for 350 this year average. I think it's going to be fun to see. There's some question marks about the Tide, but this passing game has got a chance to be one of the best in the country.
It's scary, and it's going to keep defensive coordinators up late at night.
Yeah.
Maybe upside down is where I was going with that, but either way, you get the point. The reality is, Brad, I can so see this now. You mentioned Ryan Williams. You're not going to be able to press him anymore. You're going to have a safety over top, because now you got to account for Isaiah along with the other great talent that they have. But I can just picture it now. I can just picture a third down. Everyone thinks Bama's out of the game. They're on the final drive, and what happens? They send Ryan Williams in motion. They put Isaiah Horton on a post route, and they get Ryan Williams right up the sideline on a wheel route for a touchdown. And I'm telling you, it's something like that is going to happen in the game.
Yeah.
It's going to be electric. It pains me to say that as a Georgia fan, but the reality is this guy brings experience, talent, and just the relief of not having to double team Ryan Williams.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bama fans, I know you're out there. I know you're watching. Be sure to let us know down in the comments what you think about your new wide receiver in Isaiah Horton coming over from the Miami Hurricanes. Can he be that missing piece that helps Ty Simpson with his timing, with his accuracy, with the route running, all that good stuff? Can he help you lead your Bama offense and team with Kalen DeBoer and Ryan Grubb at the coaching staff to a playoff run for the Crimson Tide? Be sure to like this video, subscribe down below for more Bama content. We'll see you next time. It's time to break the huddle.